All right, so we're still on 2B.1, part A. We're gonna do example number 4. So I'm gonna open, I smell oranges. I don't know.
I smelled them too.
Huh?
I did too. Like,
I'm not crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, I was like, I smell oranges, huh? I didn't know if that was a sign of something, that something's about to happen to me, but it was just like a strong scent of oranges coming my way, and I didn't know, I didn't see it. All right. 4, 7, 10. I said you didn't have to, but I'll do it. Because I already gave you the regression, but we need to find R squared.
Oh, you didn't. You didn't. You don't.
31. Yeah, your L1 is still going to be the same. 14. What was it? Or my 3. 34, 41, 45, 52. All right, I think I got all mine in. Woo. All right, so we're gonna find, so we're making sure that this is the right linear regression model for these points. So I'm gonna make sure when I go to stat, calc, I'm gonna run the regression model for linear. And I'm going to store just so that I can stay in the habit of vars, y vars, 1, 1. My regression did not come out to be their regression. It's me. I said it's me.
Okay, yeah, that's what I got.
4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19. Oh, I put 2. 22, 25, 28, 31, 52, 45, 41, 34, 28, 23, 25, 18, 14, 9. You know, putting a 2 for a 22 could be the problem. Could be. It could be. I don't want to give you a definite answer in that.
It was
Shh. It could have been the problem. Huh? Okay. Let's see. So here are my my points. Now, when a short way of doing this, you know that your x's are going to be the same, right? Your x's aren't changing, just your y's possibly, correct? So you know that for the ordered pairs here, it's still going to be 4, 7, 10, 13, 16, 19, blah, 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 all the way down. What you got to find are what are the values that go along with it. And yes. Yes, but we're going to do it a short way. So, they rounded their regression model to 2 decimal places, but when I was in calculus is 3. So I'm going to stick to practicing with 3. Yes. Go to L3. That's what we're about to do. That's exactly what we're about to do. All right, but I'm going to write it out. So I'm going to have 1.517 because I want to be a little more accurate than them. And plus 2.349. So to get the values that I need, I'm going to go back to stat, go back to my edit, and this time I'm going over to L3. In L3, I'm going to use this regression model to find the counterparts. So I'm going to type in 1.517 and I want all the values of L1 to be multiplied for X. Go back to stat edit. And you're gonna go over to L3, like you have to be on L3. And I'm gonna press second one so that I'm saying I want L1 to be my X. Does that make sense? And then plus 2.349. I hit enter and it's going to do all of it for me. And now I have all of my Y's.
Is there any opinion to just looking at like doing second graph? Wait, what do you write? 1.5?
You're just gonna have to go, if the numbers jump around, you just jump around.
But these like don't.
It gives you exactly what they are.
Wait, what did you do after you?
Okay.
Went to L1?
I've typed in, so my L1 became my X, and then I typed in plus. So I'll do it again. So I went to L3, I'm gonna clear it. And I'm gonna type in 1.517. You don't put X. You're gonna put L1 for X. To get L1, you press second one plus 2.349. So I'm telling the calculator to plug all these values in for me and give me their output. And then we click enter and it does the math for us for all the points we need. You have to be on L3. Does that make sense? Could you still store it and then go look at the table and get each point? Yes. But why do that when I can let L3 produce it for me? Yeah? No, maybe so. All right, so our regression points. So our regression points are those numbers. So 4,488.417. Okay, and then we have 7,12.96H, 10,17. What is?
17.5.
Yeah. Who has different?
Right.
And then that gives us 22.07. I don't know why my little calculator is so tiny, or my eyes are going bad. It's me, probably me. 26.621. Then we're at 31 point, yes, 172. 35.72. If it asks you to find the residual points,
It'll always give us like a list of numbers.
yes.
Or a problem.
Yeah, it'll give you points that you started with. And then I'm at 44. And then I'm at, yes, 37. I hope I did those right. We're gonna say that those are all correct. All right. Yes. All right, so now where it says residual points, this is where you can either manually find your R squared, but you also, the calculator will tell you your R squared. To find the calculator R squared, does anyone remember what we had to do? We have to turn on those diagnostics. If you want the calculator to tell you your R squared without having to do it manually, well, we're gonna do it manually too, but I just want to make sure we're good. You got to go to mode, and you're gonna see where it says stat diagnostics. This has to be on. Back in my day, it was always on, but for some reason, for some reason, they decided to give it an option to be off. We didn't have an option. It just always gave you your R squared. Why did they change it? I don't know. It's not the brightest thing. So now when you do,
I was wondering. Why is it a business?
I don't know. There's a lot of weird things that take place now. No, you don't even have to redo ours.
Okay, how do I get back to this?
Huh?
Something grows in the bubble.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
All right. So now when I do it, it'll tell me my R squared. Do you see your R squared? Yeah.
This is all X squared. It's the closer it is to one, the more accurate.
The closer it is to 1, the more accurate it is. So this was a good model because the R square here is 0.975. Ignore that.
Wait, ours says, yeah, ours says ours. There's an R squared one. There's an R squared one. Mine has R squared on your paper. Mine just says R. On the paper it says R. Oh, yeah, mine just says R too.
There should be a little tiny 2 on that R. No. No, remember my pen does weird things? Huh? Yes. So we found our R squared, and because R squared is fairly close to 1, we know that this is a really good model, right? So we found our values. Now, find the residual points using L3, which we did, round to 3 decimal places. No, residual points. So residual points. This is where me and the lady who wrote these notes differ. So she said that your residual points, she wrote them as an ordered pair, but to me, your residual is just a value, not a point. Huh? It's just a value. And so when you're in your calculator, it's not going to be L3 because we used our L3. It's going to be in our L4 because we've already used our L3. But in L4, all you're doing is finding your, what's residual again? Your actual minus your predicted. So in this case, it's going to be our L2 minus our L3. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you go second 2 minus second 3. You're saying subtract L2 from L3. Does that make sense? L2 minus L3. Our actual minus our predicted is our residual. Wrap. Residual equals actual minus predicted. And then when you hit enter, it's going to give you those values. Huh?
You just put those down.
Our R squared? Just write the value. Okay. Was that terrible?
L2 minus L3, right?
L2 minus L3. So for us, because the way she had you find these values were by going to the table instead of having you do it all in your stat edit window, which to me doesn't make sense.
You didn't do the L3.
Exactly. How does it work without it, right? That I don't think it does.
You got that L2 from going to like second step. Like when you're typing
So L2 was given to you.
yeah, but
Yeah.
then when you're like typing in L3 or typing in now
Yeah.
you go to second step to get
No.
Second one to do the L1.
Yeah. All right. And those are all the values that we would write in. And now you have your residual points. Okay. Was that terrible, doable? Sorry, which part? The L4? Yeah. So for L4, it's, remember, that's just finding your residual, and your residual is your actual minus your predicted. So for us, that's our L2 minus our L3. So you literally just go second 2 minus second 3, and then it'll calculate it for you. And now you have the residuals for each one. So this thing at 4, the residual is 0.583. If your residual, going back to what we said about being positive, if my residual is positive, what does that mean? My error is what? Under or over? Under, there you go. A positive residual means it's a underestimate. A negative residual means it's a overestimate. And 0 means.
On number 5,
Mhm.
we draw a graph.
Yeah, on number 5.
Wait, so positive is
On
over
5?
and negative is under? Or E?
On part E? Oh, we're about to get to E. Are we ready?
Wait, is the positive residual over?
Huh?
Is positive residual over?
A positive residual is an underestimate.
So on E, we write.
No, it's asking you to look at the scatter plot. Okay, so to look at our scatter plots, putting it all together, if we go to y equals, we have 2 plots. Do we see our plots? Well, we have 3 plots. Plot 1, if I just turn it on, all that's going to do is just show my data points. Okay, that's what that does. But if we want to see our residual, we have to actually go in to do more. I like to do residuals on plot 2. So I'm going to hit second, y equals, and that's going to allow me to open it. You're going to turn it on. Plot 2. I'll do it again. Second, y equals. I'm going to go to plot 2. Second, y equals. I'm going to plot 2. All I did was I have to press 2. Like I can't do anything. The screen is not touch screen. So I actually treat it like a like a calculator. No, it's not a touch. My calculator screen is not touch screen, just like yours isn't. And then I turn it on, but where it says Y list, we got to change that to residual. Okay, to change that, you're gonna go second stat, and you see where it says RESID. Resid.
You only have to do L4 because like that is your residual.
No, no, you're not an idiot. Don't do it though. I would never. Okay. Now, in order to make sure your graph comes out correctly, you have to do zoom stat because this is statistics information. And so it'll automatically fit the window to the statistics that you're analyzing. Does that make sense? Zoom stat. And now when I get there, I see my points. Plot 1 was on. That's just my original points. You go stat. You got to go to zoom.
Oh, zoom
Stat, or you're not gonna see it all.
But now my red's not 9. Oh.
Okay, so now you have all of your information. You have your regression line.
No, you didn't turn it on.
Did you not have probably 4? You didn't store your water.
¿Qué tiempo se puede tener somewhere?
So just analyze, that's what it's asking. So looking at this, how does it fit? Describe the graph. Yeah, because there's not.
I mean, it was rain. No, it's still not.
No, but I didn't want to. Whoa. You have everything in there, don't you? You have to turn it on.
When you like click plot 2, what do you do? You're at plot 2. You did second.
Oh, you have double.
Oh, second one. Second one. No, first the thing, but it's just not. Plot 2. That's what it says. Ah. I know.
So now you can like see the full analysis. You can see how this is a good model. We have our R, we knew our R squared was good, but if I didn't have the R squared visually, I can tell that this is a good model, a linear model. I can tell how much more, if it's over or under estimates. And you can just generally analyze the graph from this window. Okay. So that's just kind of like, that's why we made that little booklet of that information, because it's just a lot to try to, it has to be something you practice and utilize, and keep going with, okay? All right, so the hope was that we were gonna get to the quadratic example. But we didn't get to our quadratic example, so I'll come and check it out.